Dear viewers, welcome you all back to NTV Euro's regular program, Community Matters. Today we are talking about Tower Hamlets Budget 2017, and I've been very delighted to be accompanied by, on my right hand side, Councillor Hyder Ahmed, who is Mayor candidate from Independent Group and have been involved in Tower Hamlets politics for quite a long time. Thank you again for joining us today. On my left hand side, I have Councillor David Edgar, who is responsible for, who is cabinet member for resources, and also at the same time he's been involved in Tower Hamlets Labour Party politics for quite a long time. So thank you both of you for joining us today. Today we are talking about budget, Tower Hamlets budget 2017. The studio phone number is on our screen, and the studio phone number is on our screen, and viewers, you'd be able to call us and you'd be able to have your say, you'd be able to have your opinion, you'd be able to ask question to this gentleman if you have any question. So do feel free. We do have a caller, so let me just take a call. Assalamu alaikum caller, apnar porichoy diye apnar proshno korun.
Hello, assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam. I'll translate that into English.
আমি ডক্টরটা কি করছি ভাই, আমি আমার একটা প্রশ্ন দিও কাউন্সিলর দিওদর আছে, তো ক্যাবিনেট মেম্বার আর কাউন্সিলর দিওদর আছে প্রশ্ন যে গত মেয়রে তো বালা করিয়া গেছেন, ঠিক আছে, বাট এখন কোন মেয়রে তার নিজের বেতন বাড়াইয়া কমিউনিটির কমাইলা প্লাস কাউন্সিল ট্যাক্স বাড়ছে, একটা খেনে ওটা আমি জানতাম চাই, একটা আমার প্রশ্ন আমারে উত্তর দিলে আমি খুশি হইব।
Thank you very much. Thank you for your question. So she was asking that mayor has increased his own salary, and then the community is suffering. So how do you respond to that? We'll come back to you about this particular matter. So if I ask you, Councillor Hyder Ahmed, that you from your party, Independent Group, you also raised concern about community safety. You also raised concern about job cut. Would you be able to tell our viewers about it?
Thank you. Can I just very quickly respond to David Edgar's point about nursery, because it's just like one of the proposals, as I said before, it came into our table when we were in administration, but we did not close it. That's the important thing. We listened to the constituents, we listened to the residents, and we made a U-turn. I myself was very much against it. This is why, even although I was a cabinet member, I was outside with the mothers when they were demonstrating just before the cabinet, and I was able to convince the mayor at that time that no, we cannot go through those cuts, and we saved those services. The proposal was on the table, but we did not go ahead with the proposal. Mayor John Biggs has a chance. Similarly, when people are protesting, he could make a U-turn, he could save the services, but he did not. He chose not to.
Well, he said, if I play devil's advocate here, Councillor David said that they even hired an independent company to run a survey so that people from all demographic can have their say.
Can I just tell you from my own experience? I know this so-called independent survey and resident survey. I've been through and I have challenged officer all my life. I don't buy into any of this. The real people talks. I did the consultation. I went to many wards. I listened to people, what they were hearing. And this is what John Biggs should have done. He should have listened to local residents, not hiring. It's just, we have to come out.
He also said that they have spoken to people,
No,
there was a formal consultation about budget.
It wasn't formal, it was a consultation.
Yes.
David, he's right that they had online sort of consultation. Not many people are equipped with online consultation. Again, another issue I raised at the full council and the cabinet.
And whatever concern you listen from people, did you put that forward to current administration?
I went to cabinet. I spoke at the cabinet. I was the only opposition councillor who spoke at the cabinet, and I challenged John Biggs. Of course, I asked him, I pleaded to him to listen to local residents. He did not. Also, we submitted an alternative.
Thank you, Councillor. The question that I ask you, that from your political party, and I have listened to, I have seen in newspaper, and also at the same time I have listened to our TV report and other TV report, that from Independent Group, you raise concern about community safety, job cuts. So you are at studio, people are listening to you. So what sort of concern you have regarding job card and community safety?
Concern is like, again, this is something really, really give me pain. When I see Mayor John Biggs is not, he's so out of touch, he's arrogant. Yeah, the reason I'm saying it,
I think it would be good not to attack someone personally. A job card. Let's talk about
let's talk about community safety. Yeah.
Yes, community safety.
The reason I said he's out of touch is I'm not breaking any lawyer. I'm saying.
Why you say he's out of touch?
The reason I'm saying he's out of touch because Hamlets has become the worst authority in whole country for.
Do you have any evidence to back it up?
Yeah. It's evidence, of course. I don't talk rubbish. I said it in the full council.
Yes.
Yeah, I gave the evidence. If anybody wants to challenge me, it's happy.
But you are entitled to have any sort of opinion.
Yeah.
But I'm
exactly.
Facts and figures.
I'm saying is, I'm not saying anything which is not going to. I welcome any kinds of challenge. I'm just saying.
No, we know. I mean, when I introduced you, what did I say? I said you've been involved in politics, Tower Hamlets, more than many of the politicians that we see around. So you are a very good speaker. This is one of the reasons why people wants to listen. So they are listening to you now.
Thank you.
So if you can tell us more specifically, what is your concern or your party's concern regarding community safety?
Yeah, Adnan.
Very briefly, please.
Adnan, what it is that community. I was coming into it. Yeah, you stopped me. Tower Hamlets has become the worst council in whole country about crime, drug-related crime, death. Yeah, and we have more people dying in our borough in regards to the drugs-related crime. Yeah. Hence,
so this is why you are concerned about community safety.
Mayor John Biggs hasn't put
Okay, how about job cut?
Job cut again. Just let me give an example. If you privatize nurseries, it's all linked. Yeah. If you privatize nurseries, a lot of young mother will find it difficult to take their children, to pay for their children, particularly if they have 2 or 3 children.
But I mean, they are giving this, they are giving the responsibility to run the nursery to a private company so that they can run it efficiently, and also at the same time there are room for resources that those private company would be able to bring even from central government.
Question you ask about employment.
Yeah.
So if my wife or my sister works, and if she has one children, if she has a particular 2 or 3 children,
it would be
and
tough.
if she paid £200 for per children, she is not going to be going to work.
Thank you.
So she will be unemployed.
Thank you very much.
Exactly.
Thank you very much, Councillor Rohit Ahmed. How do you respond to that? There is concern about community safety, saying that there will be less police officer or community safety officers, and also at the same time he raised concern about privatization. So how do you respond to these 2 points?
Well, on the point about job cuts generally, then it's inevitable in a situation where you're cutting tens of millions of pounds from a budget, and some jobs go. And what we try to do is make sure that the jobs that go are in areas that don't provide frontline services to people. But in the 4 years up to 15-16, and the 4 years of budget set by the last mayor, 425 redundancies were made. And so, it's an issue which we've all had to grapple with. On the nurseries, the proposal from the last administration was to close nurseries. We're not proposing to close any nurseries. There are 3 that the council runs, and the proposal is in a year's time they transfer to the voluntary sector or the private sector. They stay open, they carry on providing services, and hopefully they can attract more people and get some more money. On community safety, we really have to work hard with the police. We do work hard with the police. We've kept up, I think, the number of Tower Hamlets enforcement officers who contribute to the work that the council does in helping community safety. And we are supporting Sadiq Khan as the Mayor of London in his campaign to get more police officers for London, because the Tory government, its funding for the Metropolitan Police has gone down and down. And so the number of police that you need in London, I think, is seen as a safe number, is about 33,000, and that's going down. So Sadiq Khan has our full backing in his battle with the Tory government to actually keep police numbers up, because that really matters for people, and to keep those services going is really important.
So this current administration, Mayor and the current administration, your colleagues, you are working on to have more police officers, and also at the same time you're supporting Mayor Sadiq Khan on his campaign, so that you can ensure community safety in Tower Hamlets. Is that something you suggest?
Well, we're trying to keep the Tower Hamlets enforcement officers who help enforce a whole range of things in the borough. We're trying to keep those numbers up. But we are really backing Sadiq Khan's campaign to get more police numbers in London, because that's really important. And we are working as closely as we can with the police to make sure that they are putting their resources into the areas that we need them to go, that they, that local people shape what the police do.
Thank you very much. David, just one more thing. How do you respond to that caller? She said the mayor has increased his own salary, where he is making cut to different services. How do you respond to that?
Well, last year, there's been no increases this year in any mayoral salary or councillor salaries, but last year there was an increase.
And he's one of the
he's
lowest
still,
paid...
I think he's the lowest paid mayor in London. I think he's the lowest paid mayor in London. And several years ago, there was an independent review, people who are not, they're not councillors, they're not working for councils, who advised on what they thought the proper rate should be for different councillors with different responsibilities. In Tower Hamlets, all the rates that people are paid are below, either below the level that was recommended by that independent group or within the bands that they recommended. In no case are we higher than that. And so, independent people have looked at these things and we've complied with their advice. And John, I think, is the lowest paid mayor in London.
Okay, all right, thank you. So
David would not answer to this, of course. I can give you the answer. John Biggs has sacked 153 staff, yeah?
Well, Luther Roman sacked 400, around 400.
Yeah, it's 4 years, yeah. It's a different 4 and 5 years. 153, yeah? And Luther Roman's, and this one is different because Luther Roman was all voluntary, yeah? Via, obviously, David, no. All voluntary redundancy, yeah? 153 just only this year. We had...
There's a phone call.
We had
sorry to interrupt you. There's a phone call. Assalamu alaikum caller, আপনার পরিচয় দিয়ে দয়া করে আপনার প্রশ্নটি করুন।
Assalamu alaikum. I'm calling from Limehouse.
Limehouse, okay. Wa alaikum assalam. Please have your question.
Yeah, my question is to Mr. Edgar is saying they took independent advice to increase the salary. So my question is, when Luther Rahman became mayor and the Labour Party proposed to reduce his salary by roughly £10,000, so whose advice was that?
Okay.
Why did they do?
Okay.
And why is it the opposite now?
Thank you very much. Thank you very much for your phone call. So, David, how do you respond to that? He's saying that when Luther Rahman increased his salary by 10,000, there was a big fuss from Labour Party, but now the mayor has increased his salary by 12%.
Well, there was a debate in 2010, but that's 7 years ago about what the mayor should be paid. And what I'm saying is that
7 years back?
Yeah, that was 7 years ago that debate took place. And what I'm saying is that there is an independent group who advised London councils across the board about the amounts that they... all London councils, and advised them about how much backbench councillors should be paid and how much people with different responsibilities should be paid. And we are not over any of their suggestions. Most of the people, in many cases, we're below the level that they recommended. And the mayor, I'm sure, is the lowest paid mayor in London.
Thank you very much. You were talking about the job cuts.
Can I just very quickly, I will come into the both questions later on because it will be unfair, particularly the sisters one. Probably I'll have to say a few words in Bengali. Very, very briefly, John Biggs has obviously sacked so many people. I'm not going to the details. We have the information. We had another forum where we challenged this. This is where we just need to talk to your viewers. David Edgar mentioned about independent people who actually gave some sort of proposal. Independent remuneration panel in this country give their opinions almost every year. I heard this in many times when Luther Rahman was mayor. Every year probably they used to say, well, you are actually low paid mayor, low paid cabinet member, low paid councillors. We did not take these proposals because we care about local residents. When they are in severe cut, they are facing all sorts of closures, frontline services closure. You don't think about yourself. You don't think that, it doesn't make sense. We have other things to do in life. We just go out, do hard work. David work full time. I'm sure he can survive without increasing this little amount of his salary. This gives a wrong signal to the constituents that when we are suffering.
But the price in London is increasing every year. So you need to survive at the end of the day.
No. It's just like politicians. We suffer in many ways.
Politicians are human beings.
Politicians are human beings. Politicians cannot the previous call, I really don't want to go into politics. Otherwise, it will not be nice. As I said before, if it was someone else. When Lutwoman was mayor, he has to cut. He had to cut £10,000. Proposal was from Labour group. He has to reduce his salary. Now, proposal is that John Biggs has to increase his salary.
But he's saying it was back 2010.
Yeah, but why in 2010? Why proposal was to reduce his salary? Okay. That is my question. I'm not going into this, because it will be not be nice.
The Labour Party is maintaining a little bit of double standard.
Yeah, of course it is. Of course it is. You can see that. I'm not going to say it because I don't want to give any kinds of negative sort of comments to your viewers. But however, I just would like to touch on the lady. She asked a question before. Can I?
She asked about salary. So
yeah.
You have covered.
We have covered most of the points.
So he said that back 2010, there was a motion from Labour Party to decrease the salary of mayor, and now Labour Party is saying they have taken independent advice from independent group. Those who are good in.
Independent remuneration panel is not. They did not take. Independent remuneration panel gives automatic advice every year
to everyone. So why did Labour Party put a motion forward to?
Well, 7 years ago, really quite a long time ago, that's what we thought was the right thing to do at that time. And now we're 7 years on. 7 years on. We're 7 years on, and we made a decision last year about it. But what we have done in our budget is to try to make sure that the savings fall on things like support services. We've tried to make sure that we get better at managing debts, collecting money, and all of that has allowed us to do some things like increase the provision for social care. That's really important. It's allowed us to expand some of the things that we spend. So we've got proposals for a tackling poverty fund that the mayor has introduced. We are going to spend more money on collecting waste on council estates. So there are lots of new things we're doing. We're tackling air pollution. So the savings that we've made have been done in a way which reflected what people wanted us to do, and they've allowed us to grow and increase the expenditure in some area.
Thank you very much, David. Thank you, Councillor Rohit Ahmed as well. Dear viewers, we need to go for a quick break. Today we are talking about Tower Hamlets Budget 2017. Stay with us. We'll come back after a short break.